Alright, so we're done with meron natin nagpapa-admit. Yeah, si Chiname. Alright? Alright, so basically, we're done with built-in constructor. So yung una natin nagawa is on how to yung use the constructor and this keyword. And I already discussed yung built-in constructor natin sa loob ng JavaScript. So right now, I'm going to close this one and create a new file. Lagay natin dito is prototype.js. Right, so JS file. Then let's change this one into prototype. Right, so yeah, so we're going to start mag-codes na uli, no? So kapag chinek natin to, so this one is yung normal natin. Wala lang uling laman yung console natin kasi wala naman tayong console. Right, so I'm going to add a comment. Lagay natin dito is prototype. Tama ba spelling ng prototype? Yeah, explain. So explain natin yung prototype. So, madaling salita, it's a object siya dot prototype. Okay, so yung object meron siyang property. Okay, property methods is like a prototype. So, for example, sige, lagyan pa natin another comment. Yung gagamitin natin na sample dito is in person.prototype. Prototype. Alright, so, how by spelling? Yeah. So, ngayon, gawa tayo ng constructor kasi again, tulad na sabi ko sa inyo, ang prototype, it's a property methods. Okay, so I'm going to codes ulit. Oops, lagyan natin dito. Person constructor. So para magkaroon ka ng prototype, kailangan mo muna ng constructor. So instead, para at least medyo mas madali nyo maintindihan, hindi ako magpapalit ng constructor. I'm going to stick with the person para medyo mas parang maintindihan nyo pa paulit-ulit. Alright, so let's declare a variable, not variable but it's a function keyword followed with the name of the constructor. So it's a person, so has a parenthesis and set of curly braces. So in this case, this person has has this, meron siyang property na first name. Right? Kasi kanina yung inequal na inanap natin is name. Ito first name, last name. Alright? First name equal natin with a parameter of first name. So yung parameter natin, kung ano yung papasok natin, equal na natin sila. So copy ko, then paste ko. So kung ano yung papasok dito sa person constructor na unang argument, which is first name yung hinahanap, yun yung papasok sa property niya. So instead nalagay ko yung first name ko dito na hard-coded. Diba? So instead of doing this, so para sa akin lang yun, maganda kung itong constructor natin, itong object natin is pwedeng kahit sino pumasok. Okay, that's why we're going to equal it into first name parameter. Right. So next, we're going to have a this keyword. This person has a last name. Diba? Of course naman, lahat ng tao merong first name and last name. So equal natin siya dun sa last name, no? Pero doon sa last name na parameter natin. Oh, not this. Kaya pala siya nag-equal. Okay, so this one. Alright, so walang this dapat din. Alright, so parang katulad lang ng ginawa natin nung sa line 7. Alright, so next, let's declare this keyword. This person has a property of birthday. So lahat naman ng person merong birthday, right? Is equal to, pasok natin yung new instance of date constructor na lalagyan natin siya ng date of birth. Kung ano yung papasok natin na parameter na DOB dito. Date of birth. Okay, so para maging date mismo to. Right? So, yung date, it's a object pa rin siya. Alright, so technically, yung ginawa lang din natin dito sa loob kanina. So, ito yung sa pinakauna. So, para bigyan ko kayo ng idea. So, like this one. So, I will copy this para mas ma-explain ko sa inyo na maayos. I-paste ko na. Alright, so basically this one. So ang tawag dito, it's a uh, property methods. Pero, i-comment natin yan. Alright, hindi ko siya isasama dyan kasi gagawan ko siya ng prototype. So, ibig sabihin, lahat lang nung nasa loob niya is property lang. So, ang gusto ko sa kanya, yung nasa labas ng person, it's a prototype. Hindi kasi, mas maganda kung nasa labas siya. Alright, yun yung convention. So, let's create a comment. Lagay natin dito is prototype na calculate age. So, how to create a prototype? So, simple lang, no, guys. We have a constructor person. So, copy natin yan. Lagyan lang natin siya ng dot. Okay. Then, just add a property. Nakita nyo, merong call, color, length, name, prototype, toString. Ito na yung mga pwede nyo gamitin sa isang constructor. So, I'm going to use a property of prototype. Parang sinasabi natin, okay, lalagyan kita ng prototype. Anong pangalan ng prototype mo? Dot. Anong pangalan? Yung calculate age. Pangalanan natin siya na calculate age. Alright? Then, dahil prototype siya, method siya, na kapag tinawag mo yung calculate age dun sa person, merong magra-run na behavior or function. So, let's do that. Okay. Copy ko siya. So, I'm going to equal natin with a function with set of parentheses and curly braces. Ngayon, kung ano yung mangyayari, I'm going to copy this one. So, this is the calculate age na prototype. So, madaling salita, yung property methods, kapag nilabas mo siya, tapos tinawag mo yung constructor, nilagyan mo siya ng property na prototype, naghahanap na siya ng name ng prototype mo. Alright? Tapos kapag in-equal natin, pinasok natin lahat, kung ano yung nandun sa loob, ang tawag na sa kanya is prototype. So, madaling salita, hindi siya yung parang masyado nakaka-confuse kung parang nilalabas lang natin siya. Alright? So, mayroong tawag dyan eh. It's kasi yung ano, ito, punta tayo sa Google. Alright? 4 pillars of OOP. Alright, so lahat ng OOP, ito yung 4 pillars. Wait lang si dev.io. 4 pillars of object-oriented programming. Para explain ko sa inyo. Alright? So, merong tinatawag na abstraction. Ayan. Abstraction is essentially need to know. Alright? So, ito yung mga article na dapat yung binabasa. So, apat yan. So, abstraction. So, tapos ina-explain niya polymorphism. Alright? And encapsulation. Explain ko sa inyo kung para saan yung lahat ng to. And inheritance. Alright? So, yung abstraction, ano sabi niya dito? This is sign of working with relevance. So, essentially, ayan, so sabi niya, we had the major implementation details while keeping the obvious usage of the forefront. So remember this hide the details, show the relevance. Okay? So technically, yung abstraction is may mga bagay kasi na let's say prototype, hindi dapat kailangan ma-access ng isang user. Okay? Which is dapat ang meron lang access nun is yung nag-develop. So, ang tawag dun is abstraction. Alright? So, yun yun. Abstraction. So, yung ano naman, polymorphism is when you use the block of code. You change the version of the code being used based on the inputs being given to it. So, to make it a bit clearer, different classes can be used with the same interface but can provide its own implementation of the interface. So, madaling salita, polymorphism, ano siya, yung Okay, so pwede mong i-change yung let's say yung isang prototype. So punta tayo dito. Okay, so in this case, isa pa lang yung prototype natin. Dahil etong constructor natin, nilabas natin yung prototype natin. Ganito na siya. Kapag meron tayong binago dito, okay lang. Hindi maapektuhan si person. Tapos yung susunod na prototype natin, hindi rin maapektuhan. So that's the polymorphism. Right? So para medyo mas malinis. Medyo this one is just dinidiscuss ko lang. Pero kapag once na nag-dive in na tayo doon, yung ginagawa na natin, mas maiintindihan nyo na kung para saan. Right, so let's continue with encapsulation. So encapsulation blinds together the data and function that manipulate the data and that keeps both safe from outside interface and misuse. Misuse. A good example of encapsulation is a class. When can actually refer back to the example above where the talk about dogs, cats, and cows with some modification. So this one. So gagawin din natin to, no? So yung part ng encapsulation is, so this one is class of dog, class of cat, class of cow. Alright? So technically, from the word encapsulation, nakalagay lang siya lahat ng kailangan natin sa isang object. Okay? So yun yung ibig sabihin ng encapsulation. Alright, tapos yung last one will be the inheritance. So ito yung pinakamadaling intindihan at saka explain. Inheritance is probably the most easiest way to grasp. Tama, di ba? Hindi ko pa nababasa, pero ito talaga yan. So inheritance is the concept of one class using inheriting the interface of another classes or class if then becomes a child or subclass while the class that its inheritance that is parents of superclass. So medyo complicated pa yung explanation niya. Pero madaling salita, inheritance is pwede kong ipagamit kung anong meron akong prototype. Yung available kong prototype, pwede kong ipagamit sa other classes ko. Okay? So I hope that it makes sense. Yung ibang constructor. That's the 4 pillars ng object-oriented programming. Kung bakit gamit na gamit yan. At kadalasan, kapag nag-apply kayo as a web developer, yan ang mga questions. Can you please explain to me? Ganun lagi yan. What is the 4 pillars of object-oriented programming? Just give me a minute. Charge ko lang yung no? Usually yung mga yung mga part ng kapag interview. Okay? So, usually yan yung mga questions, no? So, syempre kapag na-explain mo, alam mo kung paano gamitin. Pagkatapos mong explain, papagawan ka ng isang example. Sige, gawan mo ako ng small application using those. Ganun. So, depende dun sa interviewer or dun sa yung mga examination nyo. Usually yung mga exam, no? Hindi yan yung parang multiple choice. Walang ganun. Yung mga quizzes, walang ganun. Pag sinabing exam, technical yan. Papagawa kayo ng isang application. Ganun. Okay, kasi yun yung ina-applyan. Yun yung examination sa as a developer. So yun, so you should know that. So at first, nandun muna tayo sa pinaka-easiest kasi ang hirap naman mag-dive in kagad doon. Don't worry, yung lesson natin step by step. We're going to discuss everything. Baga sa you need to, muna, maintindihan mo muna yung mga small details, no? Pero definitely, we're going to tackle everything na nandun. Lalo na kapag ginagawa na natin at nagbubuo na tayo ng isang sample project. Na maintindihan nyo, grabe, ang ganda naman pala gamitin ni OOP eh. Okay, kaya gustong gusto ng mga company na alam mo kung paano mag-OOP. Kasi yun yung convention at saka yun yung practice sa industry. Okay? Kahit pa sabihin yung gumamit kayo ng mga framework, let's say, ngayon kasi diba, we're learning JavaScript. Kapag gusto nyo maging front-end developer and you're using Vue, Angular, and React, lahat yun naka-class base yun. Okay? So, yun na yung ginagamit doon. So, kapag naka-vanilla JavaScript ka, pwedeng meron kang pagpilian kung procedural or OOP. Pero kung pure vanilla JavaScript, they would suggest that please use OOP. Okay, kasi mas madaling maintindihan, mas malinis because of dun sa 4 pillars na yun. Okay? So now, ito yung unang prototype natin. So, madaling salita, siya lang din yung method ni person na merong something behavior na ang mangyayari is ikakalculate niya yung age kapag tinawag mo siya. Okay, so let's create another prototype. So, pangalan natin siya ng get full name. Alright, so how to get a full name? So, we need to declare that person kasi itong prototype na to is para lang kay person. Pero tulad ng sabi ko sa inyo, pwede natin siyang inheritance. Okay, kaya meron tayong may inheritance. Pero darating tayo dun. So let's just focus on person. Meron siyang, pwede natin siya lagyan na property na prototype para makapagbuo tayo ng isang prototype. So in this case, pangalanan ko siya ng get full name. So equal natin siya, i-assign natin siya sa isang function. Okay? Kasi yung prototype, madaling salita, it's a method or behavior. Meron dapat siyang gawin. Kaya in-equal natin siya with a function. So, ang gawin lang natin, let's just return a template string. So, using $sign. Alright. Lagay tayo ng parameter dito. Sige. Tingnan natin. This. Okay. So, this keyword dot. Meron tayong first name. Right. So, sino yung this? Is referring to this person. So, technically, kapag sinabi niyo this person has a first name. Okay? Then, kunin natin yung another template string. I have lesson for template string. So, this dot last name. Alright? So, madaling salita. Makukuha natin. Kapag tinawag natin si person that get full name, ang ibibigay niya sa'yo is yung first name and last name nung person constructor natin. Na kahit sino pang i-input niya na first name and last name. Kung ako yung nag-input ng Bobby Ferrer, ang makukuha ko is Bobby Ferrer. Diba? Kung sino man yung papasok, siya yung makukuha. So, that's a prototype. Okay? For this example lang. Okay, so let's create another prototype. So, para at least medyo mas maging komportable kayo on how to create a prototype. So, lagyan natin dito. Anong klase daw yung prototype yung gagawin natin? Gets married. So, what if kung nag-asawa na yung person na papasok dito sa input na to? So, let's say, syempre, gets married. Usually, sa babae siya, diba? So, let's say, tawagin natin yung person constructor natin. Lagyan natin siya ng prototype na property para makapag-create tayo ng prototype. Pangalanan natin siya ng gets married. Alright? Is equal to, or assign natin siya with a function. Alright? With set of parentheses and curly braces. So in this case, si gets married has a one argument. So pangalanan ko siya ng new last name. Right? Kasi kung ano yung ipapasa niyang last name dito sa gets married na prototype, meron tayong gagawin. So lagyan natin dito sa this dot last name. Alright? So yung last name, it's a property ng kahit sinong papasok. Okay? I-equal lang natin dun sa new last name nung sino nag-input. So for example, meron tayong NBI clearance input. Yeah. Yung kapatid mo, ang ano niya, ang last name niya is let's say Dison, babae. Siyempre nagkumuha siya ng NBI during that time. E di input niya is yung pangalan niya, first name niya, tsaka yung last name niya na Dison. Eh ngayon, nag-asawa na siya. So ngayon, kapag kukuha siya ng NBI uli, kailangan niyang mag-input ng new last name. Kasi nag-asawa na siya. So technically ganun, no? So ganun yung mangyayari. So gagawin natin dun sa kunwari, no, dun sa application na ginagawa natin. yung last name niya, hahanapin natin yung last name niya. Tapos, i-equal natin dun sa i-input niya. Kapag click niya yung meron ng nag-asawa ka na, gets married, maghahanap siya ng new last name. I-equal niya dun. Tapos, makukuha natin yung panibago niyang last name. Alright, so let's try that. So, for example, sino ba yung nandito? Na babae. Meron ba tayo? China May, dyan ba? Yan, sa China May. Alright, so let's declare a variable cons. Pangalanan natin siya na China May. Ano yun? Pangalan ng spelling ng China May? Double E. China May. Alright, China May. So, siya yung tao na papasok doon, let's say. Gagamitan natin yung application natin, which is meron tayong constructor na person. So, person, alright, has a 3 argument. The first argument is the first name, the last name, and the date of birth. Right? So, let's say, yung first name niya is Chinami. Chinami. Hindi ko alam yung last name ni Chinami. So, for example, ano ba yung mga common? Hirap na mag-isip, diba? Let's say, Garcia. Albos. O, sige, Albos. Alright, so Albos. Then, yung date of birth niya, for example lang, no? So, let's say, ano siya, August siya. Then, August 20, for example, 2000. So, 000, for example lang. Alright? Then, once we console that log, let's say, console that log, i-check natin kung ano mangyari. Tawagin natin si Chinamay. Kasi, itong input niya, pinasok natin kay Chinamay. So, kapag check natin, so, meron na siyang first name na Chinamay, last name Albos, and yung date of birth niya, alright, hindi, kasi yung date of birth nasa part siya ng prototype. Kung napansin niya, ito, meron siyang prototype. Unless tawagan mo yung calculate age niya, get full name and gets married. So what if, no? So tawagin natin yung calculate age na. Right? Kasi meron tayong ginawang prototype na calculate age. Right? So ngayon, lagay natin dito that calculate age was a method. Alright? So, check natin. It's a 20 years old si China Wei. For example lang. Okay? So, ngayon, tawagin natin yung get full name niya. Okay? So, makukuha lang natin is yung get full name. So, for example, get full name. So, save natin. It's a China May Albos. Alright? So, what if kung nag-asawa na bigla si China May? Alright? So, what if kung nag-asawa na si China May? So, you need to call the gets married method dun sa Chinamay. Kasi right now, diba, tulad ng sabi ko sa inyo, pakita ko, tanggalin ko to calculate age. Si Chinamay, oops, wait lang. Bakit? Ayan, si Chinamay has a prototype. Ibig sabihin, prototype, maaring pwede niyang i-calculate yung age, pwede niya kunin yung full name, which is nakuha na natin. What if kung gets married na siya, nag-asawa na siya? So, yung gets married, meron daw siyang argument or parameter na new last name. It requirements. So, let's do that. So, tawagin natin yung gets married. So, it was a method na nanghihingi ng last name. Let's say, i-apelid Araya. Sige. I-apelido natin siya kay Araya. Alright? So, medyo big time yung napangasawa ni China May. Alright?
Sana totoo, sir.
So, ngayon, gets married. Wait lang new last name. Gets married. Bakit undefined? Wait lang Wait lang.
It means, sir, hindi kami compatible.
Hindi. Bago pala natin siya i-console, we need to call the get married. Alright, hindi mo muna natin siya i-console. Dapat i-declare muna natin, i-input mo muna, no? Parang ganun. So let's say, kailangan mo munang ipakita na okay, bago natin siya tawagin. So for example, labas natin siya sa console kasi parang hindi niya kagad na, parang hindi niya kagad nabasa eh. So let's say China May, alright, China May gets married, tas ang napangasawa niya si Araya. Alright? So ngayon, kapag tinawag natin si get full name, okay? So China May dot get full name. Try natin ha. 'Di ba meron tayong full name? Alright, full name was indeed a method. Kasi syempre para makuha mo yung bagong pangalan niya, kailangan mong tawagin yung get full name niya. Okay? Kasi kapag China May lang, ibibigay niya lang sa'yo yung buong object. So we wanted to see the whole, yung pinaka-exact, no? Which is get full name. Ibibigay niya natin dito is China May Araya. Alright? So I hope that it makes sense, guys. Tapos, check natin pa. Another one. Check natin has own property. So let's say ganito. Uh, this one, console.log, check natin. Si Mary ba? Not Mary, but China May has own property. So, kung meron ka bang property, hindi yung property na bahay Let's say a property no? Na let's say first name. Alright? So, this one, check natin. It's a boolean of true or false. So, check na. So, check natin. It's a true. Totoong meron kang property na first name kasi ginamit mo yung person constructor. You have a property of first name. Okay? Kapag check mo, last name, then of course, it's a true. Pero kapag property of wala dun, wala dito. So let's say age. Try natin. Kung mayroong property of age, it's a false. Okay, so ganun yun. Alright, so I hope that it makes sense. It's clear. No? So, san may kita yung has own property? Doon lang sa pinaka-part ng kapag check mo lang yung China May, which is instantiate natin yung ano natin, person prototype natin. Check natin. Ito. Dun sa prototype. So, meron siyang calculate age, get full name, and gets married. Pero, dito sa loob, meron siyang has own property. Alright? Meron siyang property na this one. Kasi, ginamit na, instantiate natin yung person, in-equal natin with a Chiname. Kaya, meron na siyang property. Alright, so I hope that this one, medyo, alam ko, prototype, pero yun yung explanation. So, sana naintindihan nyo. So, parang as of the moment, parang, sir, para saan ko ba, paano ko gagamitin yan, at bakit kailangan ko matutunan yan. Alright, so, gagamitin natin yan. Alright, kapag magbubuo tayo ng isang sample project, ganito naman ako mag-discuss, diba? O magturo. I'm going to discuss the fundamentals on how to use the prototype and so on, constructor, parang nasa fundamentals tayo. Lahat yan i-cover ko. Sa DOM, i-cover natin. Then that's the time na mag-create tayo ng example. Para makita nyo, okay, ganun pala, gamitin. So, basically, ganun din yung gagamitin natin. Just make sure na meron kayong copy nito para kapag sakali na gagamitin nyo to dun sa project nyo, meron kayong reference. Okay? Tapos panoorin yung video tutorial natin para meron kayong binabalikan. So with that guys, I'm going to cut this video recorded natin para mag-start ulit tayo ng panibagong lesson.